Man, the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
The man from Monaco is the man for Monza.
Come mi fai sognare?
Jeez, Ferrari really did it. Just 2 weeks after me talking about how they were stuck in the loop, they finally reached a breakthrough. The upgrades that were so eagerly anticipated actually made the car better. And this guy right here,
that's what I'm talking about.
This is how I'm going to be in 20 years time when my kids ask me, so dad, what was it like watching Charles Leclerc win the Italian Grand Prix?
He was special.
Someday we'll have a serious conversation about this guy being one of the greatest Ferrari drivers in F1 history, because he truly lives and breathes Ferrari. It's still genuinely baffling to me how he actually solo carried them to this win against those two McLaren cars. And look at this picture. Nah, this is some crazy aura. My guy got told Norris is on pole, then replied with, I don't care. Don really said, you man are in our ends, ain't no way you're leaving with our trophy. He saw McLaren trying to get away with fumbling and hit the bros. Bro was not letting it slide. They weren't winning on his turf. Congratulations, Charles, we're adding you to the list. Top 10 I'm him performances ever. Especially after everything he's been through this year, I'm so glad he won the two most important races of the year for him personally. Now, let's get on to the topic you all clicked on this video for. Winning in Monza was the best thing Leclerc could have done in the lead up to Hamilton joining in 2025. Because as soon as that move was announced, you already had people coming up with takes like these. Leclerc isn't better than Russell? I want whatever you're smoking, bro, because what F1 are you watching? This take was a little more balanced in my opinion. I mean, at least he acknowledged that Leclerc is talented. But come on, bro. Charles is not the kind of driver that can handle a nervous car. Did you not see 2020? That season for me was the year that he really cemented himself as that guy. Il predestinato, as they call him in Italy. Obviously, winning in Monza in 2019 was an amazing moment, but when Ferrari didn't have a great car and Sebastian Vettel was struggling, Charles was putting on an absolute clinic. His tyre management during the British Grand Prix was phenomenal, up there with both Hamilton and Verstappen. The season opener in Austria, he grabbed an incredibly unexpected P2 after starting 7th, while Vettel finished 10th. Essentially, he was putting that car in places it really had no business being in. Winning in Monza again this year was extremely important. First and foremost, it gives the team belief that their current trajectory is the right one. And it's always nice to have a special result to motivate everyone to continue pushing even harder to pursue more success. But in the wider context of Hamilton joining, Leclerc has reminded everyone that he is still the main guy at Ferrari. Throughout his career, Lewis has never demanded number one status at any team. That's a myth that a lot of people believe for some reason, but wherever Lewis has gone and whoever his teammate has been, he simply just requested to be given the same opportunity as his teammate. And then from there, through his talent, he proves to everybody why he's worth prioritizing. When you have a driver as good as him, engineers will automatically feel inspired to build the best car possible, because they know he'll take it to the top. So when he joins Ferrari, him and Charles will be on equal footing in my opinion. Let me know if you disagree though, because I think it's an interesting debate. But Fred as a team principal doesn't seem like the type of guy to have a number one and number two driver. And also, why would he work so hard to lure Hamilton in, speak so highly of him in interviews, only to make him play second fiddle to Leclerc? Equally, I don't expect Charles to play second fiddle to Lewis. He's been with the team for longer, knows everyone very well. So to me, the dynamic between the two will literally just be like most other driver pairings. They'll work together to make the car as fast as possible. Since they have similar driving styles as well, that should help in directing car development in a specific direction. Having feedback from two of the best drivers on the grid is also going to accelerate how quickly the team move forwards. And these two aren't just some of the best drivers on the grid, they genuinely have a claim to be the absolute best. Having the best two drivers on the grid on the same team, what is this, the Golden State Warriors? Nah, these guys are genuinely going to be unstoppable. Fred is really cooking up a 7-course meal. Ferrari, please give them a good car to fight with, because you don't know how badly I need that Monza one too, bruh. That Instagram post would hit different. These lot post their dogs on social media and hit insane numbers. Imagine what they'd do if they locked out the top 2 steps on the podium in front of the Tifosi. Man, the stuff we're going to witness next year will be legendary. I can't speak on 2026 because nobody has any idea who will be where. But at least for next season, we have a rough idea of where everyone will be. Hopefully Ferrari have a championship contending car from the start of the season, because those two, alongside the Mercedes lineup, and McLaren, and Red Bull, although they're a bit cooked at the moment. But even if we have a 6-way fight for the title, we will be eating good. Now, I'm not gonna lie, on the track, it'll be fierce. Charles and Lewis are two very feisty drivers and hate to lose. But, and this is a crucial but, off the track, it'll be nothing but chill vibes. And both are very clean wheel-to-wheel racers, so I don't even think there'll be like a major clash or anything. And even if they do come to blows while racing, I still doubt we'll ever see a massive fallout between them. Lewis isn't at the same stage in his career as he was 10 years ago, racing against Nico Rosberg. Back then, he was a lot younger, a lot more hungry to win races and world titles. You know, especially after seeing Seb have a chokehold on the sport for 4 years straight, Lewis was probably like, "It's my turn!" Nevertheless, even if everything is all cool between the drivers, the fans, oh boy, I ain't looking forward to it. Hamilton and Leclerc are the two most popular and famous drivers on the grid. That's obviously great for marketing, both for Ferrari and F1, to have them on the same team. And as a huge fan of both drivers, whoever wins at the end of the day between them, I'll be happy. But with that massive popularity will come a lot of back and forth between fans about a whole lot of nothing. From one driver being sabotaged to the other being washed, I can already see the agendas. Like, if people are really getting pressed over this chain snatch by Piastri, you can only imagine how they'd react to when these two go racing. But it would make for a good worst takes video. By the way, part 2 is coming this Saturday, so if you don't want to miss it, subscribe and hit the bell. If you told me way back when, during the 2016 Brazilian Grand Prix, that these two would end up being teammates, I would have just laughed. And the way Leclerc acts in this whole situation is such a mood. I would have been the exact same. As far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure this is the first time the two crossed paths. Then of course, again in 2018, during Charles' debut season. And this little interaction right here is so funny to me.
Charles, if we could start with you, please. You're the hometown hero, the first Monegasque.
A few moments later.
Charlie, you from Monaco?
There's no way, bro. Lewis can really be in his own world sometimes. In terms of on-track battles, the first was obviously Bahrain 2019, but Leclerc was fighting with an engine issue. Lewis was really supportive though, because he should have won the race. But the delay to his debut victory ended up being more deep and meaningful than he ever could have imagined. On a weekend where the sports lost a promising young driver in Antoine Hubert, Pierre and Charles also lost a close friend. On race day, he would go on to race his heart out, beating Lewis by just 9/10 of a second. Dedicating the victory to his late friend, this first win was bittersweet. But it's a trait that has defined Leclerc's racing career: triumph in tragedy. It's one of the reasons why he's one of my favourite drivers, because his path to success has been filled with more adversity than most. But through it, he's learned the art of mental strength, one of the most underappreciated qualities Charles possesses. People will look at seasons like 2022 and think, oh, he's weak mentally, couldn't handle the pressure of fighting for a championship, when that couldn't be further from the truth. Ferrari operationally that year were abysmal, the worst I have personally ever seen. Their decision making, their strategies, their reliability, everything was just a mess. I will admit though, he did make a few mistakes, most notably Imola and France. But he's never lacked any ability or confidence. Mark my words, put him in a championship winning car again and set him up against whoever. Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso, he'll go band for band with them. With Max, he's already done that. And with Lewis, it'll be the same thing. In fact, on track, they've already had a fair few battles. Monza 2019, Silverstone 2021, but that wasn't really a fair fight in terms of car performance. 1 year later though, in 2022, the roles were reversed, and we got one of the most insane overtakes I've seen. And nah, I ain't talking about through goes Hamilton. I'm talking about this right here.
Side by side, Leclerc and Hamilton through Copse. Wow, what great job.
And some people still think this guy isn't generational. Man, please Ferrari, don't let this guy become the Neymar of F1, the prince who never became king. Other than that, we got Mexico 2023, with Lewis pulling off this clean move on the grass. Like, look at Max, bro, even he's in disbelief. And then this season, the only other example I can think of is Belgium. The plot set up for the next 3 years is actually going to be nuts, because Ferrari have a driver now seeking to reclaim his 8th world championship, breaking the record with the team that has achieved the most success in the sport's history. On the other hand, you have the Tifosi's poster boy, the dude who has been through thick and thin with the Scuderia and bleeds Rosso Corsa, seeking to claim his first world championship after all the trials and tribulations. However it plays out, the storylines go insanely hard. And let me say this before people start saying, oh, if Charles loses to Lewis, then it means he's not that talented. Or if Lewis loses to Charles, then it means he's not the GOAT. Listen, there's no shame in either of them losing to each other. Both of them are incredibly gifted, and no doubt they'll put on an amazing spectacle. One winning doesn't diminish the other, and vice versa. One thing I will say though, Lewis, if you're watching, which he is most definitely not, please fix up this qualifying, man. Because this Leclerc fella is scary over one lap. People be calling Russell Mr. Saturday, and while he is exceptional in qualifying, I consider Charles to be a tier above. Like, I know you've been trying and all, but I need to see Abu Dhabi 2009 like every single weekend.
That's why he's the GOAT!
One day I'm going to make a video on how much of a menace the younger version of Lewis was, both on and off the track.
Maybe it's because I'm black. That's what LAG says.
Charles did an interview a few days before the Hungarian Grand Prix, where he discussed everything from Lewis's arrival to the ongoings of the season. And there's two main takeaways that I thought were very interesting. When talking about Ferrari, people often mention how they can sometimes get too emotional. Leclerc himself said that since the passion is so high, during the best moments, there's a lot of positive emotion. But crucially during the tougher times, the general mood swings within the team are too extreme, and Fred has been amazing at managing this. And in terms of Hamilton joining, there were a lot of people that viewed this as Ferrari suggesting that they had lost confidence in their protege. In response to this, Leclerc simply said, no, Ferrari is Ferrari, and they need the best drivers in their cars. For me, I don't see anything negative in that, because it's Lewis Hamilton.
Now listen! That's called motherfucking bars!
Another interesting talking point that I haven't heard people discuss yet is going to be the best teammate Hamilton has had since Alonso in 2007. And to me, I think he is. I know Nico was incredible, Jensen was great, all love to Heikki and Valtteri, but they weren't close to Lewis's level. The dude has an insane roster of teammates. I personally don't think it'll ever get more difficult than fighting against the reigning back-to-back world champion as a rookie in the same car ever again. Like, imagine Piastri entered the Red Bull instead of the McLaren last year and instantly went toe-to-toe with Max Verstappen. That's what Lewis did in 2007. And I know it's not the exact same situation since Oscar didn't have as much testing to prepare for 2023 as Hamilton did for his rookie year, but still, it puts into perspective how ridiculous he was. Making the decision to hop straight into Ferrari, a team in which Leclerc has already firmly established himself, shows he still has every bit of confidence in his abilities. He arrives in a different position to when he first entered the sport. For one, he's achieved everything there is to achieve, so there's not really much expectation. But at the same time, there is also a lot of expectation because he's chasing the 8th. In addition, he's also a lot older, more experienced, and has perfected his craft like no other. He's still performing at an elite level and is showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Going up against a driver of Leclerc's caliber is no easy task and truly shows that Lewis puts his money where his mouth is. Back in 2016, after Nico won the championship and announced his retirement, Lewis was asked who he'd want alongside him, to which he replied,
"They can put any driver, bring Sebastian, bring Fernando, bring whoever you really want. I drove against Fernando my first year and beat him, so that's not a worry for me. I'm happy to drive against any of them."
Yeah. Fans at the time ridiculed him for lying and not wanting competition. But here he is, nearly 40 years old, entering a team with a generational talent in their mid-20s. If that's not enough proof that Lewis isn't afraid of anybody, then I don't know what is. Seeing how the two will fare against each other will be fascinating to watch and is one of the biggest storylines for 2025. Another one will be the debut of a certain 18-year-old, but we'll talk more about him next week. Until then, I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to look out for a video this Saturday. It'll be another one of those light-hearted ones just for the laughs. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're new to get my latest videos in the future. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.